the ultimate showdown of belief systems gone wild. That's right, today we're diving deep into the weirdest, wackiest, and most questionable cults humanity has ever come up with. At the end, we will declare once and for all what is the best and worst cult in history. Because let's be real, some cults build communities and others build mass graves.
Religion number 1, Heaven's Gate.
First up, Heaven's Gate, a cult that took exit strategy to a whole new level. These guys believed that an alien spaceship was trailing behind a magical comet, and the only way to hop on board was to, vacate their earthly bodies. Spoiler alert, it didn't end well. How did it work? Well, members were recruited through the early internet, back when forums were the Wild West. They were convinced that Earth was a lost cause, and that only through leveling up could they escape human suffering. How do you level up? Celibacy, total devotion, and abandoning your life. Oh, and castration for some extra commitment.
Peace.
They weren't violent, but their recruitment strategy involved convincing you to abandon your family and earthly possessions.
Education.
Let's just say their science department needed some work.
Family.
If by family you mean a bunch of people in matching Nikes waiting for an intergalactic Uber, then sure, tight-knit family.
Marriage and sex.
Sex was basically outlawed, and some members took that to the extreme with voluntary castration.
Human flourishing.
If by flourishing you mean permanently checking out, then yes, they thrived. Score, 2 out of 10 for creativity, but negative 100 out of 10 for life expectancy.
Religion number 2, the Manson family.
Next up, the OG influencer, Charles Manson. He took the idea of peace and love and somehow twisted it into stab your favorite celebrity. This cult was basically Woodstock, but with more murder and less music. Manson recruited young, vulnerable hippies with promises of love, drugs, and a countercultural utopia. He spun wild theories about an impending race war and convinced his followers they needed to kickstart it with a few strategic murders.
Peace.
If peace means orchestrating violent crimes, then yes, very peaceful.
Education.
Mostly just studying the fine art of manipulation.
Family.
Manson literally called it the family, which is sweet until they start carving messages into people.
Marriage and sex.
Free love, heavy drug use, and complete submission to Manson's desires. Not exactly a healthy relationship model.
Human flourishing.
If you consider being brainwashed into doing life in prison a great career path, then sure. Score, 1 out of 10 for charm and 0 out of 10 for moral compass. Damn.
Religion number 3, the FLDS, Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Welcome to the world of forced marriages, prairie dresses, and a lot of deeply uncomfortable family reunions. The FLDS is basically what happens when you let one dude decide he gets all the wives. Led by Warren Jeffs, this group took polygamy to dystopian levels. Young girls were assigned to much older men, and questioning authority meant exile from the community. They don't start wars, but they do start a lot of child marriages.
Education.
Not great when your school curriculum consists mostly of how to obey your 80-year-old husband.
Family.
Too much family, way too much family.
Marriage and sex.
Forced marriages, underage brides, and women treated as property. Not a great dating pool.
Human flourishing.
If you're a creepy old man, this is paradise. If you're anyone else, not so much. Score, 0 out of 10 for women's rights, but 10 out of 10 for population growth.
Religion number 4, Scientology.
Ah yes, the cult that managed to disguise itself as a religion and a multi-million-dollar business. Founded by a sci-fi writer, so you know it's legit. Recruits are lured in with promises of self-improvement, only to be financially drained and emotionally controlled. Once inside, leaving becomes a bureaucratic nightmare, with lawsuits and harassment waiting for anyone who tries.
Peace.
They aren't violent, But if you leave, they will sue you into another dimension.
Education.
They teach you how to unlock your mind's full potential after 40 levels and a small loan of $1 million.
Family.
Fine, until they label you a suppressive person and cut you off forever.
Marriage and sex.
No explicit bans, but relationships are heavily controlled, and divorcing the wrong person can get you excommunicated.
Human flourishing.
Fantastic if you like aliens, e-meters, and paying for spiritual enlightenment. Score 5 out of 10 for marketing genius, but minus 3 out of 10 for ethical standards.
Religion number 5. The Ray Lion movement.
And now for something completely different. Aliens, cloning, and free love. Founded by a French race car driver who claimed he met extraterrestrials, Raelianism is basically Scientology, but with fewer lawyers and more crop circles. Their core belief? Humans were created by aliens called the Elohim, and we need to prepare for their return. Sounds wild, but at least they aren't hurting anyone.
Peace.
They just want to party and meet aliens. No war, just weirdness.
Education.
Science-friendly, but still waiting on their first actual clone.
Family.
Open relationships galore. Monogamy is for normies.
Marriage and sex.
Promotes free love and polyamory. Raelian orgies are apparently a thing.
Human flourishing.
If you like UFOs, polyamory, and experimental science, this is the one for you. Score 7 out of 10 for harmless weirdness, but only 3 out of 10 for credibility.
Final verdict.
All right, folks, time to hand out some awards.
Best cult. The Raelians.
They believe in peace, science, and aliens, and they haven't mass suicided yet. That's about as good as it gets in the cult world.
Worst cult. Heaven's Gate.
If your entire faith is based on hitching a ride on a comet by drinking poison, you might need to rethink your life choices. What do you think? Are you in a cult? Let us know in the comments.